If you look at the conversations between Asiwaju Tinubu and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar over the weekend, I mean, they're discussing issues that is at the center of their ambitions. And for those who are calculating already, in fact, the deep calculations, which some of us will come out with some of the analysis in the coming days. Now, would you say that there is some kind of miscalculation in the choice of your former principal in respect of his choice of a running mate?
So I'm going to say first and foremost that for both men for whom I have a personal relationship, I think perhaps the exchange of words, at best I would call it a stumble. I hope it's not a tumble. And I mean this in the sense that they should quickly recalibrate and get back to the issues. And that is what concerns Nigerians. Those are the debates we should really have. How do we move ourselves to the prosperity that is imminent that this country will have? Because I know it will happen. Who is the best person to drive that vehicle? In my own opinion, Asiwaju is the best person to drive that vehicle because I've worked with him at very close quarters. I know his capacity. I know his tenacity. And I think that sometimes we need to test some hypotheses. And the opportunity to test this hypothesis is there. My position about religion has been made known on different platforms. I think religion should leave the public space and go back to where it belongs, to the homes and the religious centers. There's too much religion in our public life. And there are no nations that I know that we want to be like that is valorizing religion. It's a private thing, praying in public and others. I think we should just stop them and get down to the real business. When you are in the office, go and do your work.
But when it affects, when it's a factor in our politics, I mean, as such that it's also a factor in the bigger economies. I mean, bigger countries. I mean, I don't say bigger countries. When it's a factor in more advanced economies.
You see, you're struggling with it. You see, you're struggling.
No, I'm not struggling. I'm just trying to get the right words.
You see,
I'm saying that these are some factors also in democracies that we try to picture.
You also have to understand that democracy is an undertaking of numbers, essentially. Democracy is not necessarily always rational. It's the tyranny of the majority that has replaced the tyranny of the minority, because democracy was created to stop one man or one woman from dictating to the majority. So it was the tyranny of the minority that democracy came to replace. Democracy sometimes has become a tyranny of the majority and is an undertaking, I call it an undertaking of multiplication and addition, not of subtraction and division. So everybody will make his political calculation about what he thinks will best serve his purpose. And I think to look at something simply on the basis of A or B is perhaps to miss the point. I have some polls that I did in 2014 that I would have loved to share with you. And I think sometimes we should stop being afraid of fear itself. You know, if this is something that is real, the votes will show it eventually. And that's my take, really. But in terms of, look, at the end of the day, who cares? Who cares, really? We both drank water here. We didn't ask who made the water during the interlude. So that's the issue. People want to drink water. People want good schools. People want good health care. People want infrastructure. They want to be secure. So if you go on both sides, you know, there's been a Christian vice president under a Muslim president. Sadly, people were killed in a church. Sadly, priests have been murdered the same way Muslims have been murdered. Neither the president or the vice president loves those things to happen. I don't, you don't. But it has very little to do with our faith. Those who do it in the name of our faith are not members of our faith. They don't profess our faith. Both faiths preach peace.
And you don't see that there's something...
They preach tolerance. Those people are extremists.
Why does it look like it's your own... I mean, it's not, it doesn't look... It is only your party that has done the same faith choice in this race.
No. So let's not...
That's a fact.
Let's not... In this race?
Yes.
Okay, in this race, yes. Okay,
yes.
This race, yes.
It's only your party that has done the same faith pick
yes,
for the presidential ticket.
Yes. So what are people afraid of? You know, I asked one question. We even assume that there are only two faiths. So if this is about representation, we haven't represented everybody. There are some people, minorities there, who don't belong to both faiths. They have a voice too. So let's find a second vice president for them, or a president for them.
You think he doesn't have any? He's not going to challenge the ticket?
No. I'm just saying that let us demystify this thing about what it really is, and that's why my starting position was leave religion where it belongs,
right,
in the hearts of people, in the churches and mosques and places of worship, and in the homes. In the public space, no. Religion doesn't belong there.